Welcome back to another episode of Emikicchin cooking channel. Tonight's dinner is going to be lasagna. First part to making lasagna is making a nice bolognese sauce. I think a classic Italian recipe for a bolognese sauce would only have onions and garlic in it. But I like to add a lot of vegetables, so I'm going to be adding some carrots, zucchini and mushrooms in it as well today. Just start off by dicing everything up. I know in most cooking shows they would already have all the vegetables cut up first before they start cooking. But for me, I'm trying to save time, so I've already got the heat on my pan. I put in the onions first because they're going to take time to cook compared to my mushrooms and zucchini, and hence why now I'm doing the carrots next. If I'm just going to be making a bolognese sauce, I like to also add in a little bit of baby spinach leaves. But I decided to not put them in today because I'm making a lasagna. This lasagna recipe would usually give you about 6 servings, so we're gonna have some for dinner tonight and we'll also have some for lunch the next day as well. I love adding mushrooms to my pasta sauces, especially because they're so full of nutrients. They're full of B vitamins, antioxidants and great for boosting your immune health as well. I'm not going to add in the mushrooms just yet though, I don't want them to be overcooked. I've added in the full 500 grams of beef mince. It is a lot of meat, but it's a little bit guilt-free considering how much vegetables we've also added in today as well. I do like eating lasagna, but I find every time I order it at a restaurant it's a lot creamier, a lot cheesier, almost greasy as well. So I think you'll find my twist on the lasagna recipe will be quite gentle on the stomach. Once the mince is starting to look cooked and all crumbled up and incorporated well with the veggies, you can add in the mushrooms. They only need a few minutes to cook up anyway. I'm also just going to be adding in some quick seasoning with some salt and pepper. Found some frozen corns and peas in the freezer, so I'm popping them in as well as my tomato passata. I'm just going to let my bolognese sauce rest for a little bit, also give a moment for the mushrooms to cook through. And now it's time to start a second element for the lasagna, the bechamel sauce. Bechamel sauce is that creamy, oozy layer that you get inside a lasagna. I've seen it being sold in the supermarkets just in a jar, but I just like to make it myself. It's actually surprisingly easy to do. You just need to make sure you follow the order. So you're going to melt a bunch of butter first, add some flour. You want to add enough flour so that it looks more clumpy than like a wet dough. Once it looks like this, you're ready for the next stage. Just slowly adding in a little bit of milk at a time and continue to whisk the best you can. I recommend that you do this on a low heat. The more fire you've got on, the faster it's going to get clumpy. Just keep adding in the milk as the sauce thickens up. I'm using full fat milk here, but you can also do this with a skim milk as well. Sometimes feel that this process can go on endlessly, like the sauce will continue to thicken, you can keep adding milk and you'll just have an endless amount of bechamel sauce. So once you're happy with how much sauce you've actually made, just need to season with a bit of salt and pepper and just put it like off the heat to prevent it from thickening up again and giving you even more sauce. The important thing with bechamel sauce is that you follow that order, so butter, flour and then milk. If you're adding in more flour or butter at this stage, it's not. I believe some people like to add in cheese into the bechamel sauce as well. If you like your lasagna extra gooey, extra cheesy, go for it. Now the fun part begins, assembling the lasagna. I tend not to have a specific order that I like to layer my lasagna in. I just like to make sure that it's spread evenly. I couldn't resist doing a cheese layer this time. You could also even put a little bit of ricotta cheese on your meat sauce layer if you like that as well. Probably notice I'm starting to calculate how much sauce I have left to do my next few layers as well. I guess this is the fun part of assembling your lasagna. I always prefer to use the fresh pasta sheets that you can find in the supermarket. It just cooks so much faster and it's also so much more yummier as well, just the texture is so much better. Reached my final layer there of pasta. I'm scraping off all the bechamel sauce that I can off my pot. And I'm going to do my best to make my meat sauce go the extra mile. I always try to make sure the edges of the pasta are fully covered as well, just to make sure that they will be saturated and will cook through well. Final cheese layer to finish up, and in the oven it goes. And all done after about 20 minutes in the oven. If you're feeling really hungry, this would probably give you about 6 servings. However, we weren't that hungry tonight, so I've decided to go for smaller pieces here. And there you have it, a veggie-packed, guilt-free lasagna recipe. I'm also just going to be popping on a side salad, very simple and easy, baby spinach leaves, rocket leaves, salad dressing that I just found in the fridge, and some cherry tomatoes. Bit of basil for the lasagna, and that is ready to serve. I'll include my recipe here for you as well. Again, many thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. Feel free to let me know in the comments section if you'd like to see any particular recipes in the future. Thank you.